Like we always do about this time.
All right, and we are live from the beautiful state of Massachusetts. Thank you so much once again for joining me. I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics. Make sure you hit the like button at any point during the stream. If you find yourself liking what you're seeing, liking what you're hearing, it'd be great. Subscribe to the channel. If you feel like doing a little bit more, you could be a channel member. Click one of those buttons underneath me. It does something. You pay a little bit, I think $1.99, and then you can become a channel member. That'd be great. And if you want to do even a step further, you can join us at patreon.com/BostonBrian for as little as $5 a month. How's everybody doing? I appreciate you joining me. Like I said, lots to get to tonight. But as always, before I do that, let me bring in the chat. Well, first off, before I do that, I want to say a thank you and I hope you feel better. The thank you to TEH Golfer for the lovely irons he sent me. Just really, really very generous of him. We've been going back and forth with the golf talk. I think the fact that I've been using the same irons for the last, 30 years really irked him. So I appreciate it very much. And to Danny, I really, really hope you feel better. Get some rest. I know you're dealing with some pain at the moment, but I hope you finally get some sleep. You and Jess really deserve it. So we're thinking about you. We hope you feel better. And thank you guys for all the support. And again, hope you feel better. So that being said, lots to get to. So like I said, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you can. I think we're on our way to 12,000. Somewhere close to there would be fantastic. All right, let me say hi to everybody. Terry S., how are you? Well, I always do this. First off, thank you, mods. You wonderful, beautiful human beings, you, for keeping the chat safe, for donating your time, for just being great people, right? I appreciate it. And how's everybody doing? Slava Ukraina. Heroyam Slava. Privet, me druges. How are you guys doing? Big Dog, what's going on, my man? Rosanna, how are you? Mad Mac, what's up, buddy? Fancy. Nordez, right off the bat. I mean, just like clockwork. It's like clockwork every time, and I really, really do appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Believe me, I know what you're doing. I know that it's, it adds up. So don't think I don't understand. Oh, Jess, there you are. I hope you guys are doing well. Tell Danny we're all thinking about her. She's probably got the double ice packs. Right? She's probably got the double ice packs. Oh, I don't want to make her laugh. But I am like half deliriously tired tonight. So Lord knows what's going to come out of my mouth. So we'll do a little one of those before we get into it. Fancy, how are you? El Rondo, Josh, what's going on? Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. How are you guys doing? I appreciate it. Mr. Andrew Android, what's going on, brother? What's going on? Graphene, Jackie, Jen, how are you? What's up, Tom? There you are, brother. There you are. Thank you so much. So now, every time I yell 4 this season, I'll be thinking about you. No, actually, it's the weather's starting to break here, so I'm trying to decide: do I wait for the courses to open, or do I try to get into a simulator? I gotta know. I gotta know. What's up, Jen? How are you? Hope you're having a good night. If Jenny Faye is listening, I hope everything is well with your situation. Again, we're all thinking about you. Same with Benny Loco. Seems like at this moment in time, there's a lot of people in our community that could use our love, support, contributions if you're in the positions to do so. Oh, crap. I didn't even notice. I totally forgot to change my background since the Zoom meeting, but we're into it now, so screw it. Might as well keep it for tonight. Rox, how are you? Thank you so much. Are you the first? Are you the first mod that I've seen? Are you the only mod that I've seen? I probably should have. I thank the mods, and I should probably make sure there's any here before I do that. Rox, you're always like alone in the woods. I feel like you're just fighting the good fight in the wilderness, and I feel bad about it. Hopefully you're not alone all night. Hopefully you're not alone all night. Hopefully you're not alone all night. Winston, what's up, buddy? All right, so before I waste too much time, lots to get into, lots to talk about. I picked a few of the stories that I think would fit into the show well. Obviously, I think I've been doing a little too much, or been trying to do a little too much as far as covering every story, right? As opposed to, picking, some important stories. There's just no way we can cover it all. It's impossible. Oh, Yvonne, look at you go. Look at you go. Nope, that's not it. But hi, moms. How are you? Appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. There you are. Thank you, Yvonne. 10 gifted memberships. What a saint. Appreciate you. I really do. I really do. And if anybody would like to donate memberships or become a member themselves, again, you can. There's a button somewhere in this general vicinity. It should be somewhere around there. And I'm going to try to keep the profanity to a minimum. If you haven't noticed already, that's why I got my handy dandy pen to do the speaking for me. I got about 30 of these things, each of them with a different phrase containing the F-bomb. And it's just, if there was any pens to fit my personality, it's these. So, all right. First off, let's go through just some of the stories that we're going to try to cover tonight. Like I said, hopefully we don't run out of time. But again, one of the main stories is Putin absolutely humiliating and just backslapping, spitting on, disrespecting, whatever word you want to come up with to describe the actions that Vladimir Putin showed Donald Trump by, again, not only keeping him waiting for over an hour before they actually had the phone call, but I don't know what, maybe 35, 40 seconds after. Obviously, I'm being facetious. About an hour after the phone call, they decided to say, you know what, screw everything I just said with Donald Trump. Let's send in the drones, send in the missiles, send in the rockets. Just making Donald Trump look like an absolute goon, because not only did he not get Vladimir Putin to agree to the ceasefire, the 30-day ceasefire, but the infrastructure and energy crap that we knew was crap, right? So, I mean, it doesn't take much to see that Donald Trump's being played, right? And I think it was somebody on LBC in the UK that said, look, there's only two options here. Both of them are bad, right? One of them is that, and the good, the better of the two situations would be that Vladimir Putin is just completely playing and using and bullying Donald Trump on the world stage, just completely manipulating him in a way that he knows how, through his KGB time, through his years as leader of Russia. Or the more dangerous, the more dangerous of the two examples, situations I could possibly be, is that they're working together on this, right? Is that they have somehow joined forces in a way where they see that they can make more money off of the deals between the two countries, and then maybe siphoning off of that. Maybe they see that as the lucrative future. Oh, Luis, thank you so much. Appreciate it. What's that? Nice new background. Can you make it into a T-shirt? That I don't know. We're doing some work on the site. We've had a few bugs, few issues lately, which I'd like to send my apologies out to anybody that is waited longer than they should have, is still waiting for their stuff. But we're getting that all worked out. We're trying to figure it out. Again, me with tech, so don't don't rely on me. But yes, we will get that worked out for everybody. But I'm not sure. I'll definitely check. Great question. Appreciate the $10. Appreciate that, Luis. Thank you for being here, buddy. So after Putin humiliating Trump, we got Jessica Tarloff and Janine Pirro going at it about the the deportation flights that just so happened to be over international waters, as the judge, told the Trump administration, hey, whoa, wait a minute. What about due process? What about, figuring out who these people actually are and what their crimes actually are, and then maybe going through the legal process that is set up in this country to figure out what we do after that, right? What's that? Let's see here. Brian Attack. Dude, it's all right so far. I willed it into existence. Thank you, Yakov. Thank you so much, buddy. I've willed it into existence tonight. The good tech. What's it say, Brian? I think you're giving Trump too much intellectual credit. Yeah, well, I'm not saying he's doing it like, consciously. Maybe that's just how he's built, is just to literally go after what he sees as the most profitable lane, the most profitable of his options, right? And if he thinks that teaming up with Vladimir Putin and, like I said, the deals that they planning on make between Russia and the United States, and we know the siphoning that is done by Vladimir Putin. We know the siphoning that is done by, generals in the military and the oligarchs over there. And damn well if Donald Trump knows about any of that he'd like to get his freaking greedy little hands on that. It's impossible. All right. Well, after Janine Pirro going at it about the deportation flights, what I'd like to think is just kidnapping, right? Because deportation means there was some sort of due process had, which there wasn't. So now we're just rounding up whoever the hell we think because they got a face tattoo. God bless you if you got a face tattoo, because you might want to just wear a mask all the time. What else we got? Tim Walz hilariously mocking Elon Musk and Tesla. That's a really short video, so that should be good. We got Pretty Big Douchebags, biggest scam yet. That's PBD, or as Hal would call him, Peanut Butter Dickhead, or as the AKA Patrick Bet David, is just one of the most outrageous scams, one of the most outrageous grifts that I've ever seen. I wait till you guys see this. And then we got Elon and his goons break into the U.S. Institute of Peace. I don't know if we'll have time. That's just a quick article. I'll see if I can save that to the end. But that's a crazy story too of people barricade themselves inside and not letting people into the office, and it's crazy. So. And then what else do we got? Obviously, Joe Rogan with his Nazi Apologia, with his the guest that I think just likes being provocative. He kind of almost says it in the interview, but we'll play, I think, a few minutes of that because it pertains a lot to World War II and the rewriting of World War II. And if you're new to the channel, my passion, my side interest, my hobby, so to speak, is studying and learning things about World War II. So I feel like that being right up my alley is something that we could take a look at. And again, I know Hal covered Trump and Laura Ingraham, but there's I think a couple parts of that I want to take a look at. We won't do the whole thing because I won't put you through that again. But if we have time on that, there is a couple parts on that I'd like to point out, right? So yeah, what do you say we get into it? So the first thing I wanted to kind of pull up, let's see here. Let's do this. Let's do this. Do the shake and I'm trying to learn to share the screen after I start the live because I feel like if I start it before the live, that messes with the sound a little bit. But I just want to show you real quick before we hop into some of our clips that we got to. That this is what is going on. What is going on? What is going on is the question. 1 4 1. Why is that not working? Silly. That button should work. That button should work. This button should work. All right, screw it. We'll do it live. How about this one? But why am I I'm so confused right now. I shouldn't have opened my mouth for the tech. How's this? All right, there we go. That's better. That's better. So this is what's going on as, we're touting this so-called ceasefire, and oh man, yeah, he claimed to stop. He's going to stop striking infrastructure and energy. Ricky, what do you got for me? What do you got? You got a question? Let's see here. Ricky asked with the $10 super chat. My question is, what are they really up to with all of these other BS distractions? More destruction to our democracy, perhaps. Again, I think it's the distraction is like that is the purpose. Like, remember Steve Bannon's flood the zone with just a ton of crap, right? So that we're trying to, like I said at the beginning of the show, it's tough for me to try to cover all the stories because then you never really get too in depth on any single one of them, right? Because you're flying around. Okay, Elon's doing this, and Trump's doing that, and this is going on with Ukraine, this is going on with Gaza, and this is going on with Canada, this is going on with Mexico, Greenland. I mean, we're all over the place. So it's like you're trying to swat down. It's like someone put 1,000 tennis balls into the tennis ball machine that helps you helps you return and stuff, and it just was on rapid fire as fast as it can go. And the whole point is you got to try to hit every single tennis ball, and it's obviously not going to be possible. Inevitably, a lot are going to get through. And that's what they're hoping for. They're hoping that, even if we do touch on these subjects that may be important, that something else happens the next day or the next hour or the next minute that takes us off that subject. Then we're on to the next thing. Couple that with our short memory spans, our short attention spans. And it's a recipe for disaster. And I think, like I said, Steve Bannon kind of had it figured out. He understood that, if you just doesn't matter what you say, how outrageous the claim is, how outlandish it is, who it's made by, just get it out there. Just get it out there. And then we can watch CNN react and MSNBC react, right? And while they're talking about the stupid thing that we said in our podcast, we're already planning and putting into action another plan, right? So before they're even done talking about that segment, there's already something else that CNN or MSNBC or pick an institution is going to have to cover. So we have to learn to that's why I always like to relate politics to and political commentators to like a sports team, right? That's why we need different types of individuals to cover these issues. Like, there are things that every individual is good at, and those things that they can really call out. Like, some people are really good at the law. They're really they went to law school, or their dad's a lawyer, whatever. Or some people are just good at some of the more mundane things, like the stuff that goes on in the House and the Senate. Other people are good at calling out Trump in his speeches, in his interviews, and Republicans, like people on Fox News and OAN and Newsmax and Greg Kelly, and calling those people out, right? So that's what we need to stick to. War ain't a game, though. But I mean, guess what? You know how people plan for war? With war games. So, is it a game? You prepare for war by playing a game. So, at some point, games are helpful. But so Russian drone hits Ukraine hospital after Putin and Trump discuss possible ceasefire. President Volodymyr Zelensky said overnight missile and drone attacks launched by Russia show that Moscow's claimed support for a ceasefire in Ukraine is not real. And if anybody was listening this morning to Hal Sparks, Mega Worldwide, shout out to Hal, and his guest, Philip Bittner, who we've had on the show many times, friend of the show, living in Kyiv, war correspondent, host of the On the Edge podcast, which everybody should be subscribed to. He was talking about how they kind of were hit pretty hard, not only in and around Kyiv, but, elsewhere around the country too. So, and then, which, brings me to this, which I was sent by, I believe, Jen. So thank you, Jen, for sending me this. This was from the Washington Post. Let's see if I can share this instead with you. This is the Document prepared for Kremlin outlines hardline negotiating stance. This is March 12th, 2025. The document, written in February by a Moscow-based think tank close to Russia's Federal Security Service, lays out Russia's maximalist demands. Right. So this is not something that Russia just started thinking about. Proof, case in point here, where they had already been preparing documents full with egregiously one-sided demands for this conflict, knowing that if Trump were to get into power, they might have a shot at getting exactly what they want, right? Russia would work to weaken the United States negotiation position on Ukraine by stoking tensions between the Trump administration and the other countries while pushing ahead with Moscow's efforts to dismantle the Ukrainian state, according to a document prepared for the Kremlin. The document, written in February by an influential Moscow-based think tank close to Russia's FSB, lays out Russia's maximalist demands for any end to the conflict in Ukraine. It dismisses President Donald Trump's preliminary plans for a peace deal within 100 days as, quote, impossible to realize, and says that a, quote, peaceful resolution of the Ukraine crisis cannot happen before 2026, end quote. The document also rejects any plan to dispatch peacekeepers to Ukraine, as some in Europe have proposed, and insists on recognition of Russia's sovereignty over the Ukrainian territories it has seized. It also calls for further carve-up through the creation of a buffer zone in Ukraine's northeast on the border with Russian regions such as Bryansk and Belgorod, as well as the demilitarized zone in southern Ukraine near Crimea, which Russia illegally annexed in 2014. The latter would affect the Odessa region. Let's see here. In addition, the document discusses the need for the, quote, complete dismantling of the current Ukrainian government. Does that sound like, I don't know, does that sound like maybe people that are interested in a 30-day ceasefire? And if they are they interested in a 30-day ceasefire so that they can negotiate a prolonged peace, or are they willing to do a 30-day ceasefire so they can, resupply their troops, rearm their troops, reposition their troops, continue to launch airstrikes, continue to launch their drone strikes, right? So, this document was obtained by a European intelligence service and reviewed by the Washington Post, highlights the challenges still facing Trump in reaching any agreement with Russia for a peace deal, now that Kyiv has endorsed Washington's proposal for a 30-day ceasefire, appearing to bridge a divide between the two countries. While Russia has yet to signal that it would sign up for any ceasefire, analysts warn that Moscow still has a multitude of ways it could drag out agreeing to even a temporary pause in hostilities. The road to any long-term peace remains treacherous, they said. Russia is not interested in any early resolution of the Ukraine crisis, said Thomas Graham. I don't know why it's the Ukraine crisis. It's, in my opinion, always should be called the illegal Russian invasion of Ukraine. Why we put this on Ukraine's shoulders? Again, this is just a little thing that puts a chip on my shoulder, I guess. Oh, what's up, Liberal Dan? What's up, buddy? Thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Nice of you. Very generous of you. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you watching. Everybody should head over to Liberal Dan and subscribe to his channel as well. Support everybody we possibly can, supporting our beliefs, policies, principles, morals. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. But yeah, so doesn't really sound like a people or a state or a person in Vladimir Putin, or a a government agency such as the FSB or the think tanks in Moscow that are looking for a quick resolution to this, right? Because they have in their hands the quickest resolution possible, and that is to just get the hell out. Call your troops off, go back to your borders, drop your arms everywhere. Thank you, ma'am. Wham bam, right? And call it a night. What's up, Matt? What's up, buddy? Appreciate you being here. Another one of our friends in our space that everybody should be checking out. Christ, it goes so goddamn fast. I can never get the right one. All right, I think this is one. There he is. What's up, brother? Appreciate you. Make sure everybody's checking out Matt over there at the Letter Hack. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you being here too. So, yeah. I mean, again, let's. It goes on to say a senior director for Russia at the National Security Council under George W. Bush and now a fellow at the Council for Foreign Relations. Quote: They consistently talk about the root causes, right, which we've heard from Vladimir Putin in his statement, which, as you know, are the domestic politics in Ukraine. And even more important than that, the European security architecture, which would be the role of NATO. And a simple ceasefire, which doesn't take that into account, is of no interest to Russia. And Trump doesn't appear to understand. So, it's why is that in the background like that? I don't know. Let me do that. How's that? There you go. That's a little better. So on one hand, we're hearing, oh yeah, the phone call went great and we talked for 2 hours. But yeah, he continued his airstrikes after that. And oh yeah, we know about this document that clearly lays out very specific demands that I don't seem to be hearing from Donald Trump, right? That seem to be, make or break points on this situation, because I can guarantee you 99.9999% of that Volodymyr Zelensky and the Ukrainian people aren't going to go for. That's just, I think that's pretty plain and simple to see. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out to you guys. I appreciate you being here. If you could hit the like button, share this out. If you could, on whatever platform you're on. That's it. Pretty easy. Hop out, hit the like button. There's always less likes than people watching. I don't understand that. Takes 2 seconds. It's a thumbs up. You click it. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Got done. All right, let me get these documents out of here, and then should we head into? Yeah, let's head into one of our voice clips of the night. Voice clips here. Bring it up. Let me bring it up. Robert, hope you're feeling okay. What's the matter with Robbie? What's the matter with old Robbie? Sorry, the screen popped up, or else I'd be looking at that. So we're going to do... Let's see here. See, it's going to take too much time on that one. Gutfeld Dems. Is it this one? I think it is. Let me add this one to the stage first. I've touched the like button. It's in shock. Just make sure you ask permission. That's all. Just ask permission before you do that stuff. Let me see if this works.
These were bad people.
All right. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and I just want to make sure before I go into this, yes. Right here. So I'm just going to go to... Actually, let's play the beginning. We'll play the beginning, and then I'll take you to where I want to watch in this video. Again, we're not going to watch the whole video. I'm not going to subject you to the 5. There's a short section in here that I'd like you to pay attention to. But yeah, let's see what this guy looks like. He's hanging out of the bathroom at, I don't know, on an airplane. Is that the shitter? Is he going into the shitter or coming out of the shitter? I'm not sure. Does he have the toilet paper on his shoe? Or is that in 10 minutes? All right.
I can tell you this, these were bad people. That was a bad group of, as I say, hombres. That was a bad group. When you look at them and you look at the crimes, you take a minute, you take a look. You don't get any tougher, you don't get worse than that.
And now they're gone. President Trump defending his move to deport suspected TDA gang members.
Yeah, what was that? What was that? Good one, Bri. Really nailed that one. All right, so let me skip ahead now to, I think Kilmeade throws it to either Judge Janine or Jessica Taloff, who again, props to Jessica Taloff for the job that she does. You may not agree with everything she says. You may not agree with how she goes about the arguments, but you gotta give her some credit for that's a tough job to sit at a table with 4 other people that don't care if what they say is rooted in fact or reality. They just don't care, right? They just don't care, especially on that network. So let's see here. I think it's right around here.
Jessica, your thoughts? Do you miss them already, all those Venezuelans?
No.
So already, right? I mean, how disrespectful of a way to ask that question of your colleague. How much do you miss them? Do you miss these gangsters already? The murderers and the gangsters that we don't know were actually murderers and gangsters, which is the whole point. We're causing a ruckus here. I mean, you don't just pick up random people. I mean, call me crazy, guys. Call me crazy. But I thought it was, let me see here. I thought it was like maybe, I don't know if you want to call it against the rules or, just not the right thing to do to just round up random people without due process, stick them on a plane, send them to a foreign country, to a prison, to a prison that is known for beatings, stabbings, rapes. A country they're not from. So sending Venezuelans to El Salvador, to a maximum security prison that is known for its dangerous nature, right? Its dangerous setting. So here we go. I don't want to take up too much time here because I know we're short on it already, but let's go. Come on, Jessica.
Listen, it's ludicrous to allege that any Democrat is losing sleep or upset over verified gang members who have raped and tortured and murdered Americans being sent.
All right, so let's see here. Sorry, I lost you in the chat. I gotta scroll back up. Jeff says one of the dangerous Venezuelan criminals was ticketed for riding a bicycle in the wrong side of the road. That's it. I mean, but Jeff, I mean, we can all agree those are the type of people we're trying to get out of the country, right? I mean, cyclists at all costs should be removed. And of course, I'm kidding. That was, I guess a playback to Top Gear, which is really showing my age. but yeah, I mean, of course, how ridiculous is that? I mean, it's goes right to what Tom Holman and ICE are doing, obviously, in picking up, people with face tattoos they don't like and the like. So yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And thank you for the $5 contributions, buddy. Appreciate you being here.
Out of here. Great if you negotiated that deal. I think we're paying $6 million to the El Salvadorian government for them to take them into these prison camps.
Get to the one case.
Now, waste, fraud, and abuse. Is it wasteful? Why don't we have them? We have prisons here. We have the most people in prison. We have the prison systems. Why are we paying another country to house them at their prison? It doesn't, again, hello?
Funny you should mention that. No, there is a good reason that
China has
everybody
total
is saying
respect
alleged members
for Donald Trump and for Donald Trump's very, very large brain.
Because these people, as Dana said, have not gotten their due process. And there's an immigration attorney who has been posting about her client who was supposed to show up in court on Thursday, has been disappeared since then, is allegedly on this plane. And this person
is here to show up in court.
Oh, here we go. Here's, and again, if anybody should know this, if anybody should know the law, right? Wouldn't you think it's somebody that cosplays as a judge for the last 40 friggin' years? So listen to her trying to rewrite the judicial history in the laws of our country, in the rights to due process, as Judge Janine Wino, Pirro. No, red or white? Anyway.
What? He had a legitimate
As Fox continues to play on the left side of your screen, you'll see these people getting their head shaved as they are received into, again, this probably one of the most dangerous prisons in El Salvador, right? I mean, what are we doing? Yeah. What's hello?
Asylum claim. He had tattoos.
Legitimate asylum. It's not legitimate until a judge says it's legitimate.
But if you
No, so again, no. You're talking about when it's finalized. Again, she's conflating when you're in the legal process of obtaining asylum, you're still in the legal process. You're following the laws as they are written and the processes as you have to, right? The judge, once they stamp it, you're stamped. It's not like you're illegal up until then, until the judge stamps it. You can be removed from your court cases, removed from your asylum cases, right? And shipped to El Salvador. What are we talking about, Judge? What judge? Come on.
You make it so that person can't see a judge, then you're denying them their due process.
I don't know if I buy
what
it.
Trump is essentially.
I don't know if I buy it. Well, maybe that's because you're buying too much wine. Maybe lay back on buying the wine, and you'll be able to buy more of the facts that, I don't know, you probably should know as a fake judge.
Saying is that the asylum system, as we know it, is done. That you can show up here and you're fleeing from persecution in Venezuela, for instance, and you don't get your day in court. So if that's what it is moving forward, then just say that. Be honest.
But you know, the asylum system has been gamed.
Sure,
it is completely exploited by.
Right, which of course gives the president and his administration all authority to break the rights and the rules and laws of our country and just say, to hell with it. You know, we'll just round them up, have the plane waiting on the runway. We don't care. We know the judge is about to make his ruling. Let's make sure we get that thing over international waters, or at least we can say it's over international waters. That way it can't be turned around. Right? So to actively take all the steps to make sure that these people got out, knowing the judge was reviewing, knowing there was a possibility that they could be ruled against and these flights could be said to be returned or to not have taken off in the first place, right? So clearly there's malicious intent. Clearly this was a purpose. They did this on purpose, right? This is no like, oops, oh yeah, sorry, we just happen to have a plane on the runway waiting. We just happen to have one.
Most don't even show up, and most don't get approval.
You can throw whatever you want at the wall. I'm still going to finish what I'm saying.
That's just facts.
No, but it isn't facts.
We should build a wall.
They're illegal. They don't belong here in the first place. If they weren't invited.
Then just be honest and say it's not about getting criminals out. It's about getting everyone out who is here illegally. That we can pick up anyone, and that's not Whoopi Goldberg or Joy Behar. Obviously, they're not getting.
You do
deported.
the worst first. That's what we're doing.
But why is this person?
But okay, then Greg, you unfunny bastard, give me a list of these people, their names, the crimes that they have actually committed and been convicted of committed, and show me the due process that they went through from the time they were picked up, from the time they were shipped to friggin' El Salvador. Please. Can you give me that information? Can anybody give me that information? Because you'd think if one knew these people were gangsters, if you knew they were murderers and rapists and drug dealers, you would have said paperwork to tell you such. And therefore, you would be able to show said paperwork to the public to prove your case, right? But you're not doing that, are you? I don't see anybody doing that on the right. That's weird. That's strange.
See, one person.
No, but this is the first flight. Why can't you just wait to let everyone get processed?
So you agree?
Yes, it's the first flight of deportations of this
I'm going to give you this, Jessica. I'm so glad you agree with what's being done. You just have a problem with how it's being done. So we're making progress.
Right.
Again, Greg, how stupid do you have to be? Do you think there were no deportations under Joe Biden? Have you seen the numbers? Do you remember that we used to call Obama the deporter in chief? Right? Do you think that this is like the first ever deportations in our nation's history? But you know what the difference is between those deportations and what's going on now? That are kidnappings, basically. Due process, right? Knowing before you go pick up these people that they're 100% who you say they are. They 100% did what you say they did, and you can have the documents and everything to prove it. But they still have the due process after that they should be allowed to go through before being deported, right? Just, I don't know. I guess simple humanity, maybe, regardless of race, creed, nationality, person, that type of thing. Follow, like, I don't know. It just seemed, I thought you guys were like the party of law and order, right? The rules-based society, right? Is this big government or small government? Is this when the president and his cronies are calling for a judge to be impeached, and so much so that you have Chief Justice Roberts come out from the Supreme Court saying, hey guys, you can't call for the impeachment of a judge because you don't agree with the ruling, right? And not to give any credit to that son of a bitch, but he did say it. So Let's see.
I would say this. They've been rounded up. They got 37,000 have been rounded up, and I don't even think it's been quick enough. I think there's a lot more criminals. There were no sanctuary cities.
But what happened to the... That's funny. Those numbers don't seem to equate to having 25, 30, 40 million illegal aliens in the country, as Donald Trump said on the campaign trail. You'd think you'd be able to round up more than that, even with giving them due process.
We'd have had a lot of
but
them.
But doesn't it, as an advocate for our legal system, and you certainly believe in due process, are you not disturbed by the idea that there could be people on this flight?
No, I'm not disturbed because they're illegal and the
why can't they claim asylum?
First of all, the Democrats couldn't even say the word Lake and Riley. Now they want to talk on behalf of Trending.
I'm sorry. What? She might as well have brought up the Merry Christmas argument. People don't say Merry Christmas anymore because that has about as much relevance to this conversation and this debate or argument as that would. I don't know what that has to do or why that was brought up. What Jessica is talking about is not related to that, Judge, again.
He said it. You just didn't like how he said it.
I didn't like how who said it.
No, he mispronounced.
Go fuck yourself.
Pellegrini yelled it out.
They couldn't
and
say
he didn't know what the name
he
was.
didn't say it until they demanded he say.
And this is where they know where they're outwitted, where they're outsmarted, where they're beat by the facts of the case by Jessica pretty much every single time. That's when you see three of them talking at once. Janine getting all flustered, playing with her glass of what she wants everybody to believe is coffee. Yeah. If she left that coffee sitting at that mug too long, it'd probably burn out the bottom of the damn thing. Probably about 700 proof coffee. Let me see. Let me go back to this. But yeah, you can always tell when they have lost the plot and they lose their position in the fight, and then they tend to gang up on Jessica, and that's when her job even becomes more difficult. So we give a shout out and props to Jessica Tarloff from Fox News for doing what she does and battling how she does in the trenches of Fox News. So thank you very much for that. Let's see here. Next would be, let me just show you this real quick. I gotta get this out. I gotta get this out. I'm down to show you guys, and I'm sure you may or may not have seen it. Just a quick little short, and then we'll get into. I don't know. We should do PBD first or Rogan. We'll let you guys decide. Let me know in the chat what you guys think I should do first, PBD or Rogan. See, I'm going to add this.
I know some of you know this on the iPhone.
Oops, sorry. This is Tim Walz again. Tim Walz has really kind of reemerged since the election, as opposed to Kamala Harris, who's, again, I don't know, seems to be, nowhere to be found, nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be heard, as far as, speaking up to what's been going on with our government and what's happening with Donald Trump. Again, could be multiple reasons for that. I'm not saying. I'm just kind of pointing out the fact that Tim Walz has been a lot more on the scenes lately than his running opponent has been. So let's just check out what he had to say about old Elon Musk and Tesla here, my friend Timmy.
Saying on my phone, I know some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So
talking about the Tesla stock. So he put up Tesla on his stock app just so he could, give himself a little giggle every now and again, bring a smile to his face, just to know that Elon's lost over $100 billion since Donald Trump was elected in his net worth. And it's like, when you get that much wealth, it seems to go as easily and as quick as it came, right? I mean, to lose that amount of money is just as astonishing to me as making that amount of money in that amount of time, right? It's unfathomable.
And if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out. Just telling you. Saying on my phone,
right. And I want to reiterate. Oops, sorry. I want to reiterate. Something I said on Blue Sky, along the lines of what Tim has been saying, and I know Hal would agree, I'm sure. Don't maliciously damage anybody's property, right? Again, a middle finger and a magnet. I'm sure there's some sort of magnet that you can buy that has some sort of Nazi connotation or something to let them know how you feel without actually ruining their vehicle, without actually having normal working everyday citizens that did not happen to know about what Elon was going to turn into when they bought Tesla, when they bought an electric vehicle, probably trying to do the right thing as far as the environment is concerned. Again, it only gives them more ammunition. And again, I'm not saying that this spree that we've seen could not be dealerships, again, doing this for insurance purposes because they can't sell these damn things, right? And I don't put it out of the realm of possibility that these things are exploding on their own, right? Because we've known to see that happen. We've seen that happen before. So, I mean, and if one of those catches in a lot, you can be damn sure that the one next to it's catching. And there you go. So, but let's not give them any more ammunition. Let's not make us look like the bad guys. The work that we're doing as far as protesting in front of the dealerships, the work that we're doing as far as combating what Elon Musk and Doge is doing, is having a huge impact, having a huge effect. I mean, you guys see the Tesla stock dropping like a roller coaster. So, let's play smart here. Let's play smart is what I'm trying to say. Don't go out there breaking windshields and smashing cars up because, I mean, could be an elderly lady, could be an elderly man that owns that car. What is that going to prove, right? What is that going to prove? Again, a middle finger, and again, a magnet or something that can be removed, right? That doesn't damage the property where you still get your ideas across, you still get your message across, right? Let's come on. Let's fucking let's be serious individuals in this, right? Because we seem to be taking the upper hand. We seem to be seeing all across the country people on the right side of the aisle, veterans that voted for Trump, people down in the South that voted for Trump, coming out against the things that he's allowing Elon to do and the things that he's doing himself as far as Ukraine, as far as Gaza, as far as his partnership with Russia. So let's continue this momentum, right? Let's continue this momentum as we seek out a leader for us to latch onto in the Democratic Party. What's up, Adam? What's up, buddy? What's happening? Appreciate you being here, my man. Appreciate you being here. I hope Rox is probably pumped. She's not alone. I'm not alone. All right, let's get into. We'll do the pretty big douchebag. Let's get into the pretty big douchebag video. Oh, what's up, BT? Hold on, let me get to you. Sorry, I just pulled up the screen as I saw you. Appreciate you being here for 7 months. I would take Judge Dredd over Piero. He is sober. Appreciate you, Bri. Appreciate you, Brian. I appreciate you spelling it with an I, the correct way. Because why would you spell it with a Y? And of course, I'm kidding. But yeah, let's go to peanut butter jelly time, or as Hal calls, peanut butter dickhead, or as I like to call, pretty big douchebag. Talking. This is a video about PBD's new scam. So this isn't an actual clip from the PBD show, so don't worry about it. We add this.
Of course. Hi guys. Hi Doug.
So this is pertaining to, again, if anybody's just joining us, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share this out, please, and thank you. Subscribe to the channel. That would be fantastic. And thank you to everybody that's been here. Thank you to everybody that's watching. I'm Boston Brian. If you're just joining us, this is Blunt Politics. Appreciate it. Thank you. And again, yes, this is, let's see here. Christ. I should actually know. Let me see here. So I can give them credit. It is, come on now. It is Tim Heidecker. That's who it is. Excuse me. Tim Heidecker. I just want to make sure I give credit where credit is due. And then this is, again, exposing PBD's, again, most outrageous scam possible. So let's check it out.
Hi, Vic. Hi, Eric. Hello. Big fan. Huge fans.
Thank you.
RMA Brown. I gotta say, I love your opinions and stuff. Remarkable. I love the charts that you draw on the whiteboard. Hilarious.
But before we get into PBD,
PDB, you moron.
You should get a Manette. Bugs Bunny.
This is what I want to talk to you about is Manette. This is the greatest thing ever, man.
It's like you have to pay.
All right, so Manette, guys. This is what it's all about. Manette, right? And I'm going to, let me switch to this one. Oh, Christ, for crying out loud. Had to stage.
To them or something?
Yeah.
We can help you take that step forward.
This is the little infomercial for Manette, right? Which is kind of like I don't know what the hell you would call it. Maybe like an extended cameo type of thing. You know how you can pay, I don't know, $500 for Rudy Giuliani to send you the 2-minute message or something like that, right? So this is something similar. This is where I believe you get like a half hour, maybe a half hour of either screen time. I forget what the hell it is. It doesn't really matter because if you do it, you're an idiot anyway. So let's watch.
We can even help you take that step back. Manette.
Wait,
look at how dumb it is.
$48,000?
You see, Vinny? All right, prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves. Like I was saying, you know, like most cameos are probably like maybe $100, $200, 500, maybe 1,000 if you're big time. I'm sure there's people more than that too. But how much is Patrick Bet David? You think he charging for this? How much do you think he's charging? Let's take a look.
For 30 minutes?
Oh my God. No.
Hold on. Let me get out of the way. $48,000. Let me say that again. Let me hold on. Let me say that again. Really slow into the mic. $48,000 for 30 minutes. What are we doing? What is happening where anybody on this planet is wealthy enough to come out of pocket with $50,000 to spend 30 minutes of their time with peanut butter douchebag? No, pretty big douchebag. What are we doing? $48,000. I nearly fell out of my chair. I thought it had to be a mistake, and I'll tell you why as they continue here. Why I thought it had to be a mistake, right?
Oh my God!
How embarrassing for Adam. He's $500, and Tom is $2,000.
Right. So the other guys are $500 and $2,000 and a couple other. So how does Patrick Bet David justify going from whatever the next highest is, 2,000, 3,000, I don't know, 5,000 to $48,000? I'm in the wrong biz, guys. I am in the wrong biz. Stick me on Manette. And there's other idiots on here too, right? It's not just people from Pretty Big Douchebags podcast.
How much is Vinny?
Insane.
How much is Vinny?
$48,000.
Vinny's
How much for 30 minutes?
2,000. He's just under
2,000 for Vinny, right? So you can watch his head explode like a tomato.
Tom's the big deal. Look at Salvador. He looks like Uncle Junior.
Oh!
Well, you know, the key thing for business is you gotta always be growing. And what I do is I recommend starting some kind of scam where you charge people $48,000 for a half hour of your time. Let's see, Vinny. I'll do $2,000, but I'll give you $3,000 if I could turn you red as a beet. The problem is he doesn't get that red on PBD because he's so happy and he's so relaxed.
He's fucking hilarious. Let me see if I can fast. Oh my God, you see this? What the hell is the guy's name? Let me see. I'll make it big so I see if I can see it. The mobster there on the top left. You got Terrell Owens, Charlie Kirk. Is that actor? Tell me these people. I don't know why anybody needs to stoop to this level. Terrell Owens didn't make enough money in the NFL, right? Where he's got to stick himself on Manette. Charlie Kirk isn't raking in enough money. Get 30 minutes with Boston Brian on my neck. Right. No, not millions. That's crazy. $75, whatever, $100. I'll start a Cameo. Is that what people get? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just figuring out how to do a live stream. Been doing it for a year.
Just happy to be there. Yeah.
You want to get him on Piers Morgan or somebody else's show so he could blow a fuse, blow a gasket.
I can see that.
PBD gives a gift.
Here we go.
We walked in here.
This is it gets a little bit silly, but then it does talk about one of his other grifts that he's got going, where he's offering subscriptions to his podcast, or what it's called, the Cigar Room or something, right? And where do you see? Here we go. Here you go. These are the memberships that he's offering. His platinum membership, what's that say? $15,000? Is that what that says? Next one, gold is 10 grand, silver $5 grand. And this is so you can go go in their cigar room and sip whiskey and smoke cigars with them for a little bit, like him and Giuliani and the rest of the creeps, right?
What'd you spend $16,000 on? It's a platinum membership to a cigar club.
You got to go platinum.
You got to go platinum.
I mean,
it's embarrassing coming in with a silver.
Am I going to lay down 10 G's for gold?
This is Giuliani. Look at Rudy. The fat. Oh man, sorry. I'm trying to be good. But yeah, imagine that. 16 grand, and I'm assuming a month. I don't know if it's a year thing or what. To be able to go and sit there and smoke cigars, with pretty big douchebag in Rudy Giuliani. No thanks. You'd have to be one rich moron to come out of pocket with $50,000 or $15,000 to be anywhere near these idiots, right? All right, so let me get rid of him. I don't want to spend too much time on it, so we can get into our main segment of the night. Let me get in here. Just make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, we'll get into the Rogan. What I didn't do is I didn't save it because they were too long. So let me go to my email where I have it saved. Should I do this one first, or that one first, or this one first, or that one first? I'll bring this one up. I'm loving it. All right, no, Joe, you talk when I say you talk, and I say no talkie yet. You gotta share screen, put that there. I am going to add it so you guys can see it, because that would be fantastic. I'm not going to stay like that because I don't like that view. I'm going to do that, and away we go. And again, all right, this is Joe Rogan with guest Daryl Cooper. Now, I don't know if I should refresh your memory on where we've seen Daryl Cooper before, but I think I shall. So let me just see if I can go into this. Give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves. That would be wonderful. And then we're going to go to... Oh, did I already close it? Hold on. Scoosums. Yeah, here it is. There she blows. Let me get this up on the screen here. Share this time instead. How's this? All right. So this is where we've seen this moron before. I'm going to play just the first few seconds of this, and you should remember pretty rapidly, pretty clearly, where we've seen this guy before and why exactly this clip was memorable. So here we go. Here's this idiot. Let me see. Play.
Weird motive in asking this, but how would you assess Winston Churchill?
I got in trouble with my podcast partner, Jocko Willink, one time because
and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jocko, also a podcaster. I forget what the name of his podcast is, but I believe he's an ex-services guy, big, burly, jacked guy. I don't know if he was special forces or what he was, but I'm pretty sure he's ex-military. A lot of these guys seem to be the same. I'm not sure of this guy's background. He does claim to be some sort of historian in a lot of his conversations, but this is what he has to say about Winston Churchill in his involvement in World War II.
He's a New England Dutchman whose his family, it's near and dear to they're Dutch, but very near and dear to their heart.
I'll tell you that the fact that he's Dutch has absolutely nothing to do with it, because people in this area, and I don't even think being from New England has anything to do with it, because I think, you know, the people that actually know what happened and actually took place and recognize and study and you know, read the timelines of what took place actually recognize Winston Churchill's importance. You know, we don't overlook his shortcomings and the things that happened before World War II that he was responsible for, right? Or his shortcomings as prime minister during the war. And obviously the British people voted him out after the war, so he served his purpose. But there's no denying Churchill's role in World War II and how much he invigorated the British people, how much he unified and solidified their stance against the Nazis. Because as far as Chamberlain was concerned, as far as the Parliament was concerned, as far as both sides were concerned before that, they were ready to capitulate, right? They were going to continue to capitulate. We know Chamberlain with the white paper, right? We know that they were trying to force Churchill during the war to negotiate with Mussolini, who promised to be a connection or a special envoy as far as negotiations with Hitler. Right? Churchill didn't want to. The rest of his cabinet was basically forcing him into it, saying that they were going to hold, to hold him accountable, basically. They were trying to get it on record that he was going to say that he was unwilling to negotiate at and he said, fuck it. Fuck them. It's either defiance at all costs or nothing, right? A country that goes down fighting shall rise again. A country that capitulates is gone forever. Thank you, JD. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you very much. Thank you for the 5 gift. And anybody that gets a gifted membership, please be sure to thank the person that gifted it for you. But yeah, let me go. I don't want to take too much time. Yeah, that's my fault.
Winston Churchill.
I know I'm going to have a lot to say about this.
He's a hero, right?
Well, everyone
thinks that. He really thinks that. And I told him that I think, and maybe I'm being a little hyperbolic, maybe. But I told him, maybe trying to provoke him a little bit, that I thought Churchill was the chief villain of the Second World War.
The chief villain? Now, let's see. Let's talk about some of the participants, right, in World War II. Let's talk about some of the bad guys that we know. Himmler, Stalin, Hitler, Goering, right? Goebbels. Fucking Reinhard Heydrich. I mean, fucking, let's see. Why I can't think of his name right now. Josef Mengele, the doctor there. I mean, come on now. Right, Tojo. I mean, the list is endless. Endless of people that were so much. I mean, this statement is so ridiculous, which is, again, why he says, maybe I'm being hyperbolic here, and maybe he's just trying to do this. I mean, he got what he wanted. He got what he wanted. He got it not only his time on Tucker Carlson, but he got this clip to be spread, by lefties, by everybody, us attacking it, fucking the right wing celebrating it. Got him notoriety. He talks about it on his other podcasts. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Let me just play a couple more seconds because I think he does say why.
Now, he didn't kill the most people. He didn't.
No, he didn't. Good. Thank you. I appreciate you letting us know.
Commit the most atrocities. But I believe, and I think when you really get into it and tell the story right and don't leave anything out, you see that he was primarily responsible for that war becoming what it did.
Primarily responsible for the war becoming what it did. Now, what's funny is he does seem to, I don't want to say walk this back, but he leaves a lot of this part out in his Rogan appearance. And I also have another podcast that he was on that I want to take a look at, if that's okay with you guys, where he doesn't quite go as far as he does right here with Tucker.
Something other than an invasion of Poland or just I mean, at every step of the way, like people are very often, I find.
All right, so that you get the gist. That's the clip. He's that one. So we don't have to continue that. Let me see. Let me go to this one, and this is him on the Rogan Experience. And this is the first few of this is Rogan, kissing this guy's ass. Again, doing apologia for the stuff that he said, rewriting the history of World War II, and kind of excusing. Basically, what Daryl Cooper does is he tries to take the, what do you call them? Not the lowlights in history and the monsters involved with the Mudeh Hussein, Saddam Hussein, some of the worst characters on the planet. And he tries to go back and look at whatever conflict it was through their eyes, through their perspective, which, again, not inherently a bad thing to do, but you do have to walk a very, very, very fine line, and it does have to be done in a very specific way for you not to seem like you're sympathizing with, Nazis, Saddam Hussein, Bin Laden, pick a historical figure that is sadistic, Pol Pot, whoever it may be, you know what I mean? You can I don't see anything wrong with going back and looking at, the society they were brought up in and what made them the person that they were when they were, in charge of the country or, whatever, leading the revolutions that they were leading. But as far as, like I said, how you do it and how you can go about it without looking like you're sympathizing, Idi Amin, right? Another one. There's another one. Good call, Lisa. Good call, Lisa. All right, so let's go. Let's hear.
A Nazi apologist. I was like, good Lord, this is not going to work on people who know him. I've been through that ringer before. I know what that is. But with you, I was like, all anyone needs to do, and I encourage you, if you're like, I can't believe you have this guy on, listen to.
Again, and Joe acknowledges, I think several times in this, how many people did not want him to have this guy on his show. Right? Several times he mentions it, at least once or twice. That's one. So I think he mentions it at least one more time where he's like, screw the people that told me not to have you on. And it seems like there was a bunch of them. And he probably should have listened.
Fear and Loathing in the New Jerusalem. Listen to it. Just, you don't even have to listen to the whole thing. Listen to the first hour of it. And there's no fucking way the person who made that is anti-Semitic in any way, shape, or form.
Again, excusing Apologia, setting this guy up right off the bat, right from the get-go of the podcast, because Joe is a huge fan. I think that was in the very beginning of it, but Joe explains how much of a fan he is of his work and how important he thinks his work is, and it's like the reverse ass kiss. Usually, the people that go on Joe Rogan are kissing his ass, but for some reason, the script is flipped on this one.
And that's just one of the things that you've done that show that. It's like, the problem is when someone says something and they're trying to be hyperbolic, or they're trying to get a reaction, or you're shit talking, or you post a meme online or something like that. Like, this bizarre culture we live in that wants to reduce people to the worst possible
No, Joe. You just said it right there. If you're trying to be hyperbolic, if you're trying to get a reaction, then don't be mad when you get a reaction. Right? If you're trying to induce a reaction from people, don't then cry and moan and bitch when you get that reaction. Or if the reaction isn't the reaction you were looking for or hoping for. That's not how this works. You don't get to say whatever you want and have nobody push back or have no criticism whatsoever. And congratulations on being either the second, third, or fourth most watched podcast for the second month in a row. And congratulations to Midas Touch for the second month in a row being the most watched podcast in the country. So bravo to you boys. And you, Joe. All right, here we go.
Interpretations of what they said or who they are, and to ignore everything else but for one small tweet or one statement made in trying to get a reaction,
Should we not judge you on the words that you type out in a public forum? Right? I'm not saying that should be the thing that defines you, right? A tweet. But if you could put a group of them together that they all pretty much say the same thing and you can see a theme and a pattern, Joe, then maybe it's not us. Maybe it's you, brother.
To be outrageous. Like, it's a stupid thing that we do. And let
me skip ahead because he goes on for friggin' ever before he lets the guy talk. And again, why is it with all these people, they always have the driest mouth possible? Like, this guy sounds like he walked to this studio from the fucking Sahara Desert with zero fucking water, and Joe refuses to give him any. That's how he sounds. I don't know why. It always happens. Don Jr., every single one of these guys. So let's go. Check it out.
I'm not going to absolve
Let's
myself.
explain what you said, because you were talking about.
It's just what I want to hear is your lips and your mouth smacking together in the microphone for 3 hours. Thanks, boss. Appreciate you, Daryl.
What you say to Jocko, right?
Yeah, that's how it originally came up, because Jocko's wife's English, right? So Churchill's like a sacred figure in their pantheon, and so I said that maybe I'm being a little provocative here. I like to.
So now it's the Dutch and what did he say? Greek? What did he say? I forget what he said already. Did he say Greek?
You're in their pantheon, and Jocko's wife's English, right? So
English. So now the Dutch and English. So now, again, at some point he's going to have every country that formed the Allies in World War II that hold Churchill up on their shoulders or up to be recognized in their pantheon, as he would say.
Churchill's like a sacred figure in their pantheon, and so I said that maybe I'm being a little provocative here. I like to provoke Jocko with my Churchill takes or whatever, but that's only part of it. I mean, I'm very critical of Churchill's role, in my opinion, in turning the German invasion of Poland into the Second World War, basically.
Again, turning the German invasion of Poland into the Second World War. Churchill. He's saying Churchill did.
It's as I get older. I posted something on X today that somebody had posted a video. A drone is going toward a Ukrainian or a Russian truck or something, and it hits it and it doesn't blow up. And it's like boom, boom, and it tries to. It doesn't blow up. And as I was watching that thing, I felt like that when it didn't blow up and the video ended, I felt like this really strong sense of relief that it didn't blow up, And I reposted it.
Yeah, he was happy. He was happy. He wants to make sure no Russians die.
I think as I get older, like, I just don't have the stomach for this kind of stuff anymore. And I see something like that, and I don't care who's in the truck. I don't care if it's Russians. I don't care if it's North Koreans or Ukrainians.
It's human beings.
I'm just glad that they're okay. Like, that's what I actually felt at the time. This town, 7 episodes, 35 hours long. And whoever it is.
So basically he's on here to promote he's doing some sort of either podcast or video about World War II from the German perspective. And that's what he's talking about on this other podcast that I'll play too. There's only, like I said, we're not going to watch this whole thing. I have a couple timestamps timed out. There's just a few minutes in the first in the beginning here where I want to check out.
It's like my rule is that I don't record anything until I feel like I can put myself think about the consequences of taking the wrong lessons from things like that. The response that the federal government had to the Waco standoff in the early 90s was very much informed. That's
Right.
like the next step. You got to take one more step, and you're empathizing with those people.
Here we go.
So
this is where he talks about this. This is where he
when
talks
I did
about
that in the Tucker interview with regard to the Germans and the Second World War, and the series that I'm working on right now, which is the Second World War from the perspective of the Germans. It's people who it's not just people who are purposely misinterpreting things or anything. A lot of people who are in good faith, they see something like that and they think you're trying to justify or rationalize what happened.
Sounds like it. That's why. I mean, it's just the first thought that people have is like, man, why are you talking so positively about I don't know, Adolf Hitler or Heinrich Himmler or fucking Reinhard Heydrich. You
know, because there is this thing where, I mean, the Jonestown story, this really did kind of happen to me, where, you know, when you get past a certain threshold of understanding people.
Again, what's that? Orbruma? Yeah, I don't mind this at all. There's many documentaries that you could look at. There's many videos and books already have been made to look at World War II through the eyes of a German soldier, through the eyes of a German military commander. What Hitler was going through. You know, this is nothing new. But like I said, there's a way to do it. There's a way to go about it. I mean, World War II is one of the most studied, one of the most written about, one of the most documented things in fucking human history, right? I mean, I know we're surpassing that now with Syria and now Ukraine with all the footage and body cams and drone footage and, you know, cameras here, cameras there, cameras everywhere. Everybody's got a phone too with a camera on it. So obviously we're seeing more of it now, but I mean, I have no problem whatsoever with learning how the normal German soldier ended up where he was, what his mindset might have been, how much Pervitin he was taking. But you can't, and he goes on to say it here, but you can't, there's a fine line you have to walk. And he knows it. Like I said, he knows it because he's not the first to do it.
You're butting right up against empathizing with them. I mean, it's like, that's the very, you know, that's like the next step. You got to take one more step and you're empathizing with those people. And so people see that, you know, and you're empathizing with evil people, you know, whoever it is. But I mean,
have you ever seen, Tora? I mean, I'd say that's exactly what that is, right? That movie is basically the viewpoint of the Japanese throughout the you know, the Pearl Harbor Crusades, you know, how they planned it. I mean, that's what that movie's pretty much about. I don't see anybody complaining about Tora, right? I mean, so like I said, there's ways to do it. There's ways to go about it. Tora. I think it's a fantastic movie. You got to get the one with the correct subtitleage, because there's two out there. One of them is a little harder to watch than the other one. But Jojo Rabbit, right? Great call, Phil. You know, what's Downfall, right? Downfall is the last few months of the war from Hitler's perspective of him down in the bunker, right? That's a fantastic movie. I recommend you watching that, right? But that doesn't sympathize with their plight. That doesn't make them look macho. That doesn't make them look supreme in any way. If anything, it does the complete opposite, while still giving you the perspective of, you know, what actually was going on in the bunker in the last few days, last few weeks of you know, Hitler's life. So again, there's ways to do it, and he knows there's ways to do it because he's not the first to fucking do it.
really believe that it's really good for us, like individually, you know, and as a society too. I think it has a positive effect on us to, like, when we force ourselves to understand, you know, people we don't like as human beings, and just understand that their motivations are really no different than ours.
Well, this is one of the reasons why your podcast is so important, because you talk about things in this way.
Sorry.
And this is one of the reasons why I knew you were misconstrued, or you would be misconstrued if something like that came up. Doing that is fine with Jonestown. You know, with Jonestown, everybody's like, well, how could these people have convinced these people to drink the Kool-Aid? Why would the people do it? What kind of a monster turns into this genocidal maniac? All
right, so now let's go to the next. I think it was 42 minutes. Like I said, we're not going to watch all this. That'd be crazy. I think it's like 4 hours long. So we'll go to 42:05. And again, I don't even remember what I put at these time slots. I never do. So this could be anything. Let's go.
Whatever we do to accomplish those goals, as long as we survive, people accept it eventually. You know, Roosevelt normalized relations with the Soviet Union in 1933, when Stalin was literally still clearing bodies from the millions of people he starved in the Ukrainian Holodomor, and in Kazakhstan, another million people. And like at that time, and we knew it was going on.
It pisses me off.
Of love for his people.
It pisses me off so much when somebody knows, like when you can tell that somebody is intelligent enough to know what the hell they're saying is complete horse shit. Right. I mean, there's certain things where, to know about the Holodomor, right? I mean, these aren't just things that everybody knows about. You obviously have to do some research. You obviously have to do some digging. He talks about how he has, Mein Kampf at home, and because he says the research for his podcast, right?
Stalin was literally still clearing bodies from the millions of people he starved in the Ukrainian Holodomor, and in Kazakhstan, another million people. And like at that time is when, and we knew it was going on, obviously, and yet, Roosevelt normalized relations with Stalin, and people got over it. Just like with Turkey. Turkey does the Armenian genocide, and it's condemned at the time. They were on the other side of the war and everything. But a couple of years later, like, look, Turkey's an important strategic.
And he's not wrong about the Russia thing too. Obviously we supplied them with equipment. There was, to some degree, an infatuation with Uncle Joe, Joseph Stalin, right? So, to some degree, like I said, it pisses me off when people know and have the level of understanding that they do, but for some reason want to come out and be provocative, want to come out and be hyperbolic and piss people off and say shit that they know is completely untrue, right? It's like, why? Like, I'd be more impressed with you if you came out and said what you actually know, because it seems like you shit, right? So why you come out and try to be hyperbolic and try to get the fucking clickbait out there, right?
Strategically placed country like in the world, and we kind of need them on our side. And so, sorry, Armenians, but get over it. And so people took that lesson, is that violence will accomplish our goals. And as long as we accomplish them and survive, people will get over it,
Leaves Joe speechless.
But again, I think this is what's really important about your work, is that you do take into consideration all these aspects, which again, with Jim Jones, that's fine.
Yeah. And again, right back to the Apologia, right back to saying how important it is, right?
He is talking about the Jewish question. Like almost all of those are like internal Nazi party, like rally speeches.
Hold on. Ready?
Is going and giving big.
Here we go.
This is
what I wanted to show you in this.
How did the Nazis rise to power? Like what are we talking about? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about this horrific environment that's not considered. Doesn't make you a Nazi apologist.
Yeah, and it's important to know too that it's not like Hitler was going and giving big speeches at City Square in Berlin, going on and on and on about how we're going to kill the Jews, and the German people said, "Right on, like let's go do it." That was
that didn't happen. Let's see here. See if I can do this for you guys. Hitler, that didn't happen, right? It's not like Hitler was in public talking about how he wants to annihilate the Jews, right? Because that would be ridiculous. I mean, I don't know why anybody, historically speaking, would think that happened. I mean, good God, you'd have to be an idiot to think that happened. Let's see here. Hitler, annihilating. God, I'm the worst type of. Let's see if that comes up. Nope. Funny. What I typed in, I'm not going to say, but the first person that comes up is Benjamin Netanyahu. Tells you a lot. Now, let me see if I can find it, because I know there was which would make it really easy for me, but I'm probably not going to find it. Let's see here. Media, maybe? For the videos. Show me a video, please. Charlie. That really hurt, Charlie. Charlie bit me. Come on. Why is it not working? All right. I'll see if I can find it on the old interwebs then. Hitler says... Thank you for watching, guys. By the way, I'm Boss Brian. This is Blunt Politics. Make sure you hit the like button. Share the show out. That would be fantastic. I'm looking for a short clip if I can here. Let's see here. This is at least one of them. This is at least one where he's talking about the Jewish state. Share this tab instead here.
Die Völker werden in kurzer Zeit erkennen, dass das nationalsozialistische Deutschland.
I'm not fluent in German, so it might be a little difficult. Can I get some subtitles here? Some subtitles? Come on here. Give me some subtitles. Nothing?
Keine Feindschaft mit anderen Völkern will.
Well, this is the one where he names all the countries that they want they let the list of demands of countries they want him to stay away from, basically.
Ich will heute wieder ein Prophet sein. Wenn es dem internationalen Finanzjudentum ist.
And he wants to annihilate the Christ. I want to get the words right.
Außerhalb Europas gelingen sollte, die Völker noch einmal in einen Weltkrieg zu stürzen, dann wird das Ergebnis nicht die Bolschewisierung der Erde und damit der Sieg des Judentums sein, sondern die Vernichtung der jüdischen Rasse in Europa.
I think he said annihilate the Jewish race in Europe. If I'm getting that correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. There's always somebody smarter than me. But yeah, it's not like Hitler was out there giving speeches telling everybody what he wanted to do. I mean, I know he hit it at the beginning. It's not like he was out there at the beginning saying these things, but I mean, to say that he was never out there is, just obviously talking horse poopy. So again,
like the speeches that are out there where he is talking about the Jewish question, like almost all of those are like internal Nazi party, like rally speeches, they're not him.
Because there's the distinction, right? Is there a distinction without a difference there, or a difference without a distinction? Who do you think fills up? No, Winston, believe me, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you, brother. Who do you think fills up the seats at these party rallies, right? Just because they're wearing uniforms of different types does not mean that these aren't the citizens of Germany, right? That he's speaking to. Right, big dog. Exactly. What up, Austin? What's up, buddy? Let's see here. When's this guy going to start saying that the British, the Jewish, and the Roosevelt administration were the three most important groups who have been pressing America towards war? Right. He's about a sentence and a half away from that, Austin. Appreciate you being here, by the way. Thank you so much for the contributions. Very helpful to the channel, and I thank you very much. Oh, Slacks. What's up, brother? What's up, dog? What's happening, dude? Love you, brother. Always. As always, love to Mel, Integrity Dog Logan. Love to all the Bryantologists. Slava Ukraini. Right back at you, buddy. Heroyam Slava. Appreciate you, my dude. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Soulcraft. You know what was funny? Is there a the Soulcraft and a Soulcraft? Because I want to make sure I'm getting this right. Because I'm pretty sure I was watching a stream about 6 months ago, one of Lance's streams, and it was the stream that you became a member. Unless I'm getting the screen names mixed up, in which case, forgive me if I am. Disregard. Let's see here. Mozart's got something to say. Mozart says, in 1925, Hitler's Mein Kampf was published. It is very clear about Hitler's views on the Jewish problem. Absolutely. 100% correct. Lives now in prison with his buddy Rudolf Hess. Rudolph, another guy that didn't write his own book. Another thing he's got in common with old Donnie Trump. Two guys that didn't write their own book. Thank you, Sheldon. Appreciate you. All right, let's keep going. We got about 35 minutes left.
He had to be careful about that. Like in 1938, which is pretty far down the line, when Kristallnacht happened, it was kind of a nationwide pogrom against the Jews in Germany that was launched primarily by Goebbels.
Wait till you hear how he tries to rewrite this.
The propaganda minister. But there was outrage in the German cities. People in Berlin.
Outrage in the German cities? Yeah, the outrage was that German citizens had the audacity to frequent Jewish shops or buy from Jewish sellers or dealers or antiquities sellers. I think I'm the only one, but that used to be the one that maybe fund crowding. or crowdfunding. Soulcraft, you cracked me up. I think it was yours. I read Mein Kampf in the 9th grade. Well, skimmed it just to see what the fuck it was. Fuck, Mark. Christ. 9th grade, huh? Are you bored? What the fuck? I was outside eating dirt in the 9th grade, I think. Mein Kampf, you crazy bastard. Appreciate you being here, though. Thank you. What's up, Right Said Rob? What's up, buddy? Appreciate you. And thank you, everybody on Twitch. Thank you, everybody on Facebook. Make sure everybody on YouTube, you like and share and subscribe and all the stuff you can do for free. I really do appreciate it. And thank you to everybody that's contributed to the show so far. All right, so I think there was one more point that I wanted to see here. And then we can hop on to the next one. 149.14, ladies and gentlemen. 149.14. We're going to go 149.14. 149.18 sounds good to me. All right, let's roll.
Again, no matter what you're talking about, whether it's any of the stories I've talked about, is that very often people get sucked into it because not because of like some latent evil in their heart, but because their virtues get hijacked. You know, Hitler is a good example. That is somebody who can say whatever you want about him.
Now, does it sound like to me that's a setup where we're going to enjoy or agree or like what he's about to say next? I don't know if the words Hitler's a good example has ever been used except for like shit you never fucking do, right? Pardon my French. Right? Just to point to things that should never be done again. Right? So, all right, let me go back. Let's see what he's got to say about Hitler being a good example for what again?
Is a good example. That is somebody who can say whatever you want about him. He loved the German people and he cared.
Yes. Yes. If there's one thing that we know about Adolf Hitler is how much love he had for his own German citizens, right? Which is why he had this. Everybody, let me see if I can make this bigger for you guys so you can see it. Maybe one of these guys, maybe that'll help, and I'll get rid of my name so you can actually see what the hell's going on. How do I get out of here? Oh, there it is. Boom. All right. This is the Neuro Decree, right? So this is an order issued by Adolf Hitler on 19 March 1945, ordering the destruction of German infrastructure to prevent its use by Allied forces as they penetrated deep within Germany. So basically, compare it to Stalin's scorched earth policy, right? So all the railways, all the bridges, all the water, all the plumbing, all the infrastructure needed for his people to survive, he wanted destroyed, right? Thus leaving his people to die a miserable death, either that or to be captured by the Russians, right? It was officially titled Decree Concerning Demolitions in the Reich Territory. I'm not even going to try that one, and has subsequently been known as the Nero Decree after the Roman Emperor Nero, who, according to an apocryphal story, engineered the Great Fire of Rome in 64 AD. The decree was deliberately disobeyed by Albert Speer, Hitler's main architect, shortly before the fall of the Nazi regime. So he knew Albert Speer, as you know, as much as he is responsible as anybody else for the atrocities that took place, at least had the mindset to know that if this step was taken, it would leave millions and millions of German citizens to die just, again, in awful death. So does that, again, sound like somebody that cares about the people, right? To lead them into a needless war against a much bigger state in Russia, to get them into a war on multiple fronts, knowing that they didn't have the resources, knowing that they didn't have the steel, knowing that they didn't have the capabilities to produce the armaments fast enough to replace them, as fast as they were losing them on the battlefield, right? As many T-34s as they were taking out, as many tanks, they were taken out at a 5-to-1 rate, 6-to-1 rate. When Russia's producing them at a 15-to-1 or a ratio, it doesn't matter, because when that T-34 fucking blows up, there's going to be one right behind it. But because the Nazis focused on more labor-intensive, highly engineered, more technical stuff. It took them longer to produce their tanks, their planes, because of meddling with the Luftwaffe and the head of the Luftwaffe. Basically, they wanted everything to be a dive bomber. So planes, right where they were about to go on the production line, were changed. All the things were scrapped and changed, and that added months and weeks, months and years onto the production of it. So they shot themselves in the foot. But again, does any of this sound like somebody that loves the people? That he put them in this situation, that he brainwashed. Oops, sorry. Let me share this one again. My fault. There we go. Play.
But that love, I mean, is very. I mean, it's like I was reading an article a while back about the neurochemical oxytocin.
And no pushback again from Mr. Slow Rogan, right? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing out of his mouth. And it's funny, did this guy just say neuro? He just said neuro, right?
I mean, it's like I was reading an article a while back about the neurochemical oxytocin.
Right? So the fact that the word neuro, and I know he's not know what he's talking about, but the fact that the neuro decree didn't pop into his head, like maybe I should have brought that up as far as when I said Hitler loved the people because he left them to rot and starve and die. And actually ordered that upon his people, right? So, all right, let's get out of this one. We don't have to do that one no more. Shaniqua don't live here no more. All right, please like the stream. I very much appreciate you guys being here on a Wednesday night. It means a lot to me. Thank you guys so much. Hop out, like it. Takes 2 seconds. Thumbs up. Subscribe. It's free. Share the show out. I'm Brian. This is Blunt Politics. Thank you for joining me. And we're going to go on to the next one here. Let me see. We stop this screen. I don't like when it's like that, so I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. How you doing? Thank you very much. All right, so let's go to the last one, and again, like that one, I didn't download it, so I got to go to my email and bring it up. This is, this one. So 2715 is what we're looking at on this one. Pause. No, I didn't ask you to play. I did not ask you to play. All right, here we go. Present to you guys. Share screen. How you doing? This is him on a different podcast talking about, again, his little show that he's making about World War II from the German perspective. But I thought it at least valuable for you guys to hear what he had to say on this one as well, and to know what type of person this is and how much Joe fucked up basically for bringing this guy on the show or not for bringing the guy on the show, because it's not who you talk to, it's how you speak to them and what you call out, like Gavin fucking Newsom, right? Don't get me started on that. Right? Do I care that you had, am I mad that you just spoke to Charlie Kirk and just spoke to Steve Bannon? Is that why? No, of course not. If you were to sit there and call out the bullshit, call out Charlie Kirk for talking about how he wouldn't get on a plane if it was a black pilot, right? Don't be buddy. Don't be fucking Cenk Uygur. Don't stop it. Stop that shit. Stop that shit. Go out and talk to the fucking people. Go out and talk to the Republican citizens. Don't tell me how much Charlie Kirk is dominating the airwaves and the messaging and then invite him on your podcast to give him more fucking airtime and more time to get his messaging out there. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. You're an idiot. Be combative. Be a fighter. That's what the people are looking for. Okay, anyway. All right, let's get into this, and then we'll get into the super chats, say thank you guys, and we'll get you guys out of here for the night. I appreciate you. I really do.
Sometimes they'll lose that argument, at least emotionally, and even to themselves, And so, we're in a new world now. We're 80 years, since that war occurred. And I just think it's time to take a second look.
It's time to take a second look at it because, nobody that I know, there's nothing that I could point to, any literature or, like I said, film, documentaries, to point to that of people taking a second look at World War II, right? It's time that this guy, Darryl Cooper, stepped up to do it because apparently nobody has. We need Darryl Cooper's side of World War II.
What do you think, if you had to state the myth and
and now listen to the question. He's asking, what is the myth of World War II to state it generally, to put it in layman's terms. Basically, that's what he's asking. What is the big myth of World War II?
As a little pill, what is the myth? the load-bearing myth version of this.
So that's a good question.
And where's he go back to?
So I think the elevation of Winston Churchill.
Right back to Winston Churchill. I don't know what this guy has against Winston Churchill, right? But it seems to be his main talking point as far as what he thinks went wrong or what he thinks he has. The information that he has is more valuable than what everybody else has seemed to find about this, right? About Winston Churchill.
Sort of.
Careful.
Yeah. Churchill he had good qualities, right? But just in terms of the gigantic personalities, in the world at the time, he was a relative.
And I don't know. I'm not really big on but what the fuck is wrong with his finger? Like, what is up with his hands in this? I don't understand his hand motions. I don't understand how his fingers are pointing in the directions that they're pointing. It's really freaking me out. Reminds me of a kid I used to have that used to hang out around the playground all the time. Special needs kid. Not making fun of him, but he had the biggest hands on earth, and it just reminds me of that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not making fun of or anything, but that's what it brings to mind. But they're like, it's almost like they're not relating this to the kid I used to know, but it looks like drug hands, you know what I mean? Kind of thing. And maybe that relates to the dry mouth that we heard on Joe Rogan, and he continues to have on this podcast again. Like, I don't want to hear that. This isn't ASMR, right, brother? But that finger's broken. I'm sorry. That's a broken finger. I don't know what he did before this podcast. I don't know what he was doing, but that's a broken pinky. Look at that. What is that? How is that facing that direction? How is that facing that direction? Did Elon lose some ketamine? Because I think I know who found it. Holy sugar. All right. Just a couple minutes of this. And like I said, I'll thank you guys. Appreciate it. And get you guys out of there.
He should be, I think, remembered as a relatively minor figure,
Right. So again, he seemed to have, for some reason, I don't know if he thinks these guys know better, right? I don't know if he, again, knows that he can get one over on Joe Rogan as far as the shit he says, because he knows that Joe Rogan's such a fan and maybe doesn't have the understanding of World War II and the people in it. But he seems to tone it down just a bit on this podcast. Like, he doesn't, as far as I remember from what I saw of this clip, doesn't blame him outright for creating World War II like he did in the other two podcasts, right? He doesn't blame him for expanding the German invasion of Poland, even though there was many, many, many things that happened before the German invasion of Poland. Not to mention the Japanese already in China, what the hell is it? Franco, how the Luftwaffe tested their planes out and over there in Franco land, well before anything kicked off in Poland.
In the sense that, when you look at the photos at the later conferences
I can't stop watching his hands now. I can't. I'm sorry. I cannot stop watching his hands.
Roosevelt, Stalin, Churchill. To me, like Roosevelt and Stalin.
Oh, he's talking about the picture. Okay.
Are two giants of the 20th century. These are two men who basically made the will of their nation synonymous with their own will.
Really? I mean, because Stalin was only responsible for how many millions of dead people? Right? Was he a big figure? Yes. Is he one to be lauded? Is he one to be, celebrated? Absolutely not. Abso-fucking-lutely not. Did he play a big role in World War II? Of course.
Right. And shaped the world, that grew out of nothing was the same after they came through it. Churchill to me is a relatively minor figure. He was somebody who was a sort of representative of British policy at the time. If you would have.
So he's trying to get the point across that no matter who was in that position, right? No matter, you could replace Churchill with anybody. And that was going to be the will of the British people, right? To continue the fight, to continue the policies that were in place. which is just fucking absolutely horseshit. It's just incorrect. It's just factually incorrect, right? It's a fact. It's very well known that Winston Churchill, in his insightful rhetoric, in his passionate speeches, really helped to boost the morale of the British people, really helped the British people find their backbone, right? And to find the resolve that they needed to withstand the Blitz. This was not this was not a known thing. This was not a nationwide policy, so to speak, before Winston Churchill brought it to the foreground, brought his speeches to the radio, brought his speeches to Parliament, right? Were there people that were thinking the same way as Churchill? Absolutely. But was it an overwhelming nationwide, policy of fighting and resisting at all costs? No, it wasn't. Which is why we see Chamberlain with the white paper. People were looking to appease Hitler in any way they possibly could to avoid war. You got to remember how fresh this was off the back of World War I and this devastation that World War I saw, and people were not, they were not fucking excited. They were not ready to jump back into a situation like that, right? So it took somebody like Winston Churchill to say, listen, I understand this is going to be tough. We are going to suffer. There are going to be, many people that are going to be put out of their homes. There are going to be many people that are going to lose sons and daughters. People are going to be working long hours at the factory. They're going to be eating low amounts of food because of rationing. But if we all stick together, if we all fucking bind together and we, keep calm and carry on, right? Then we will be able to defeat. Like I said earlier, when he says that a nation that goes down fighting rises again, but a nation that capitulates, and I'm paraphrasing here, is relegated to the ashes, the dustbin of history. He's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. So again, hi Benny Loco. Hope you're well. Hope everything's going well for you. Hope you're having a good night. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. What's up, Nasty Badger? What's up, Gino? What's up, JD? Ricky? Appreciate you guys being here. But yeah, just a couple more minutes of this, and then I don't know. Is there anything else that I had? I think that was it. I think we did good tonight, guys. I think we did good.
Replaced Churchill. This was pointed out to me after I criticized him on Tucker's show by people who were friends of mine, but who are they are supporters of Churchill. They said the thing is you can't blame him because you could have replaced him. It wouldn't have mattered. This was British imperial policy. Mm-hmm. And to me,
this is what he uses as justification, right? Like his quote unquote ghost friends that like Churchill, but also say that he was, could have been easily replaced, and that if you took somebody else out of Parliament or out of the government at that time and stuck him in Churchill's place, that he would have had the same effect, had the same had the same victories that Winston Churchill had. We know, Slacks. We appreciate you right back, dude. Much love. Much love. Winston, I don't know, brother. I really don't know. That's why I'm playing it for you guys, just because it's that outlandish, and again, because it pertains to World War II, and it's something that I can actually speak on at length if I wanted to, which I always do. Thank you, Nordez. Again, you're just fantastic. I appreciate you. Thank you for all your contributions. Goering was addicted to morphine. Yeah. He was also a World War I fighter ace, right? So if you go back, I think I've showed it on the show, what Goering looked like in World War I, and then compare him to World War II. It's a totally different man, right? It's a totally different friggin' man. Totally different man. Churchill dressed like Zelensky. At times, yeah. There's, like I said, I played that. I showed that picture on the show when that whole thing was going on of Churchill visiting the White House in his, military jumper, right? But again, he also wore tuxedos, top hats. He wore it all. You know what I mean? Replaced the Red Baron, correct? Nobody really. I don't think he was really well liked. as far as I've read. But they knew he had a purpose. They knew he served the purpose. He was actually pretty good at what he did. All right, let's see if there's anything else in here that we can get through out of this.
If that is the case, then it, by kind of definition, almost makes Churchill like a more minor figure than those other guys. And yet, I think
the fingers, the fucking fingers again. What are we doing here, people? It's like the guy in what's the guy's name in Men in Black? More sugar, more sugar. The guy that's like the skin. I feel like that's what his hands looked like when he was in that movie.
Yeah, I really don't. I've never seen as HHHHS director, my Robert F. Kennedy Jr. here. I don't know what medical complications would cause anybody to have their fingers move like that. Back to you, Brian.
So stupid.
think if you were to poll people and say who was, of these of this selection, who was the greatest man of the 20th century, I'll bet you Churchill would get more votes than Roosevelt or Stalin. And why is
it's debatable. It's debatable. It depends on obviously where the vote is held, clearly. I would say if it's held in the United States, Roosevelt, if those are the choices given, Roosevelt would come out on top on that one. And if it was a poll taken across the pond, I would assume that Churchill would come out on top on that one. I don't think anybody's voting for fucking... Again, did he put Stalin in that category? Did he just put Stalin in that?
Of these of this selection, who was the greatest man of the 20th century? I'll bet you Churchill would get more votes than Roosevelt or Stalin.
Why the fuck? I didn't even catch that the first time. Look at him trying to slip Joseph Stalin into the fucking conversation in the category of man or person of the 20th century. I'm sorry, as you just described in prior podcasts about the Holodomor, the beheading of his own military officers, the Gulag, the fact that he even tried to slip that in there with Winston Churchill and FDR, right? Should tell you a lot about this guy, right? He's in my opinion, he's just there to stir up shit, right? Again, he seems to find it funny when he's hanging out with, I don't know, his friend's wife who's English, or his buddy Jocko who's fucking Dutch and likes Churchill, to say shit that he knows is completely hyperbolic and false and stupid to say, but he does it to get a reaction out of people. But then, whoa, Jesus, why are people coming at me with their reaction? Because you put it out there to get a reaction. This is our fucking reaction. Deal with it. Either that or don't put your shit out in the fucking internet, right? For us to see. It's not that difficult. All right, I'm done with that guy. We did good tonight, guy. I appreciate you. Thank you for sticking with me. I think we made it through without too many or any technical issues, which is always good. So again, if anybody's out there that has not liked the stream, if you do like the stream, make sure you hit that like button. And if you don't like it, hit the thumbs down. Fuck it, right? Tell me how you really feel. Please. Leave a comment too after the video is posted, not just in the chat. Again, throw those emojis in the chat. Mel spent a lot of time working on those. Throw those emojis in the comment section after the video is posted. Share this out on Blue Sky, wherever you guys possibly can. I would very much appreciate it. We're on our way to 12,000 subscribers, which I think is fantastic, but slow and steady goes the ship. And I don't know. I'm just hoping one of these days we get on the right track of we actually find that algorithm. Let's get on that algorithm flow, like the turtles in fucking Finding Nemo, right? Cool, dude. Like, take me to the top, dude. Fucking rad, man. Take us to the top. All right, let's thank everybody for their contributions to the channel tonight. Thank everybody for their membership giftings, their milestones, and then I'll get you guys out of here on time for once. Right? Nora Des, as always, I appreciate you so much. I really do. Thank you so much for the 5 gifted, all of your gifted memberships. Fancy, thank you so much for the gifted membership. Sheldon, Jess, thank you so much for the 5 gifted. Again, tell Danny we're with her. Hope she's feeling a little bit better. Time. All it's going to take is time, but we're with you. We're with you. So thank you so much. Yvonne, stepping it up with the 10 gifted. Thank you so much, Yvonne. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. I do, I really do. Luis, thank you so much, buddy. Nice new background. Can you make a t-shirt? Noted. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for watching. Kara, how are you? Thank you for becoming a new member. Appreciate you very much. Yakov, thank you for the 1 gifted. Ricky, thank you so much for the 10. My question is, what are they really all up? My question is, what are they really up to with all the other BS? Distractions, more destruction to our democracy, perhaps. That's the ultimate goal. But again, I think distraction itself is the ultimate goal. To keep your head moving this way, because when you're looking this way, you can't see what's happening over there, right? And then once you're trying to figure out what's happening over there, you can't see what's happening over there, and that's what they're kind of counting on, right? So thank you, Sheldon. Appreciate you. Liberal Dan. Appreciate you, my man. Hope everybody subscribed to Liberal Dan. Let's see here. Jeff Miller, what's going on, brother? Thank you so much for the 5. One of the dangerous Venezuelan criminals was ticketed for a ride in a bicycle on the wrong side of the road. That's it. Fucked up. BT, what's up, brother? I would take Judge Dredd over Piero. He is sober. Appreciate you. Mzlner. Does that say Mernzilner? Thank you for the gifted membership. Mernzil. Thank you for the $5 sticker. Appreciate that. Thank you, JD, for the 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for always being here, for always contributing. It really is appreciated. Whom does this guy going to start saying the British, the Jews, and the Roosevelt administration were the 3 most important groups who have been pressing America towards war? Right. I mean, like I said, he was just. I think that's pretty much what he was saying without saying as much. Right. Thank you, Slacks. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you for your continued contribution. Thank you, Sheldon. Oh, thank you, Jess. Love to you, Mel and Logan. Thank you for checking in on us this week. It means the world to us. You're amazing, but you already know that. Sorry, we missed the Zooms. We will be there next month. Love you, brother. Again, Zooms is the last thing on my mind. Don't worry about it. I was just making sure everything was okay, because I know you guys you're always there, and I appreciate your support so much. So I just obviously wanted to make sure that everything was all right. Making everything sure is all right. But yeah, just I think something that everybody should be doing, right? I don't give myself any credit for that one. But thank you, Jess. I appreciate you. Let's see. Slacks is back. The SS motto. Meine Ehre heißt Treue. Yep. Means my honor is loyalty. Trump would love to hear that from his people. Wasn't that what he was asking from his generals in his first administration, or at least saying behind the scenes he wished his generals would act more like Hitler's generals? Remember that, right? We remember him saying that. So absolutely right, Slacks. Thank you so much for your contributions and the information. Nordez gifted 5. Another 5 gifted. You're just throwing 5 memberships everywhere. People are going to be picking those things up from weeks. Thank you, Nordez. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Austin's back at it like a crack addict. Sorry, that's just what I say. I didn't mean that to... I don't want to direct that at you. Sorry. Just a friendly reminder to stay safe while online shopping. While trying to avoid Amazon recently, I had my debit card information stolen while on a website that, in hindsight, was pretty sketchy. Fucking Temu Austin. What'd you get? I got a car, 4 belts, 9 pairs of sunglasses, 9 sets of golf clubs, 4 houses, a vacation, and 3 Asian women that are going to come cook for me for $27.14. Should be here next century. Oh, sorry. I'm just being silly. Thank you, Austin. I appreciate it. I'm surprised I went this long. I'm like deliriously exhausted right now. So the fact that I made it through this far is cool with me. So sorry, Austin. I think I lost it on your super chat. My bad, dude. Oh, Laurie, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. Yakov, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Make sure, like I always say, you guys are thanking and showing some appreciation to the people that are gifted memberships, because that's what keeps the channel going. Like I said, cheapest way to help this channel financially is to $1.99 a month. I don't know what that beep was. What is beeping in my ear? What the hell was that? It sounded like somebody else like entered the room, but they didn't. Anyways, but yeah. Well, as I say, make sure you're thanking the people that are donating the gifted memberships to you, because that's like I said, the single cheapest way to keep this channel going from anybody that wants to or is in the position to come out of pocket is $1.99 a month. $1.99 a month, you can become a channel member. So you get access to all the badges, the emojis, depending on how long you're a member. The longer you become a member, the more stuff you get access to. Like I said, for as low as $5 a month, check out patreon.com/BostonBrian. We have our Zoom calls twice a month, once for the $5 in the next level up, which I totally forget what it is, and then one for the VIP if you sign up for the VIP level. So thank you to all the VIPs, and thank you to everybody who signed up at Patreon. You guys are really the true heroes that keep me being able to do things like this and being able to have the time to look into the information and have the equipment to bring this to you as I do. Not saying it's perfect and not saying I'm the best, but at least I'm on screen and you can hear me, right? So yeah, I appreciate you guys. Oh, Slacks is back at it, slipping one in at the bell. Let's see here. Troya. Right. Troya. I actually took German Babel. Well, took it, but I used German Babel for about, I want to say like 5, maybe 6 months. And I got pretty good at it, but shit happened in life. And then it's like, if I don't stick with it, I tend to lose it. So some of the words I can pick up, some of the sentences I can understand, some of the phrases I know, but it's kind of intermittent. I used to be able to kind of have somewhat of a conversation, not giving myself too much credit. But thank you, Slacks. Appreciate that. And look at that. We're out of here 2 minutes early. 2 minutes early. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Make sure you guys are supporting the channel. Literally doesn't get more independent than what I'm doing now, right? So not only do I work a day job, a blue-collar day job, obviously more than 40 hours a week, and then when I get home is pretty much trying to prepare for the show in one way or another to make sure that I can, bring this information to you and we can learn together and learn from, the people that are out there in front of cameras and talking to people and may have sway and lots of people listening to them and calling this shit out to make sure that people know that, just because you got lots of subscribers, just because you got lots of money and houses and cars doesn't mean you need to be fucking listened to. Doesn't mean you have the answers. Doesn't mean you're a genius, right? There are normal, everyday people like myself, like you guys, that share just as much of this fight, that have just as many, if not more, great ideas and policies and principles and morals that will bring this country, into a better place. And I really do think that the momentum is starting to switch. I'm not saying that we're on top by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. But, as we've seen recently in the town halls, with the disgust over Tesla, with the disgust over what Doge is doing, with the pushback against Donald Trump's ass-kissing and boot-licking of Vladimir Putin, and his treatment of Volodymyr Zelensky and the Ukrainian people. So, we're kind of seesawing right now. We're kind of seesawing. I think there's 2 ways we can go. We can kind of tip this way and, Donald Trump gets his way and Vladimir Putin gets, bigger and more powerful on the world stage, or, we could tip the balance in our favor and have the people actually unite, because it's funny. It's funny how enemies, no matter how vicious the fight is, if brought together by a common goal or a common good, can forget about the past and join forces to beat what is now their common enemy, right? I mean, just think about, what's a good example? Just think, the Japanese soldiers after World War II, right? Soon as the Japanese surrendered, the Japanese officers went from viciously beating the United States soldiers, still holding them in captivity, making them bow for them, whipping them and stuff, to the roles reversed immediately. to the Japanese soldiers were then bowing to the American officers and the American soldiers. They were surrendering to the American soldiers, right? There's films and pictures as far back as I can recall, and I'm sure even further back, World War I, where German soldiers and British soldiers were dancing and singing Christmas songs and cooking together, and same thing in World War II happened when the Russians met up with the Americans and the British. So yeah, it's I know we've battled these people talking about MAGA for 10 years or better, going on 10 years. But it's I think you'd be very surprised how quick this could change and how quick we could see ourselves having a common enemy and a common goal together, and who knows, dare I say, fucking uniting for that common goal, uniting for the populist beliefs of the working class people, uniting to support Medicare for all, to support the unions, to support free tuition for colleges, to support higher wages, to support better rights for marginalized communities, things like that, right? So again, we're teetering, and we're doing our part here at Blunt Politics, the Bryantologists here at the Church of Bryantology, to do our part to keep that seesaw going towards the power of the people, right? So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your contributions. I'll see you guys Sunday at 1:00. Again, I'm Boston Brian. Hit that like button on the way out. Subscribe on the way out. I would very much appreciate it, right? I think we're at least a 20,000 subscriber channel, right? At least a 20,000, I think. I mean, I don't want to tap myself too hard in the back and break my arm, but, we're trying, guys. We're trying. We're here. We're doing it. We're putting our face out there, our opinions out there, which can be, taken and combated, right, and argued against. So it's not the easiest thing to do in the world. So we're here, and it's going to be a long haul, but I do think we're going to get it done. I really do. Midterms 2026, Florida races. Make sure you guys spread the word. Continue to get out there and talk to your family members. Continue to get out there and spread the word against Tesla, against Elon Musk. Let people what they know, and let's if you're in a place where you see people are talking about Elon in a bad way, feed into that. Fucking fuel that fire. Fuel that fire. Let's fuel that fire instead of the fire on the Tesla cars themselves, right? Again, we don't need that. A middle finger, a Nazi fucking magnet, or something that can be removed, something that gets your point across but doesn't damage their property is the way to go. Again, don't give them ammunition. But again, I'm Boston Brian. This is Blunt Politics. Hit the like on the way out, and I'll see you guys Sunday at 1:00. I appreciate it. Let's see if this works. No, I don't want to do that. Because that'll end it at the end of it. Nope, I'm just going to do this. Sorry. Because I don't trust that. I don't trust that. All right, I'm going to click all the buttons. Let's see if this fucking works now. This might be the most exciting part of the stream. Will the exit work? Don't pick my nose.
It feels so lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful audience. Give yourselves a round of applause. You're so lovely. Everyone's so lovely.
Like we always do about this time.
Thank you, Michael. I see you, buddy. I see you. Thank you, Mod. Appreciate you very much. What up, JL? What up, girl? I see you. I appreciate you. Have a good night. Thank you, Mod. Good job, too. You guys are amazing. As always. Much love.
Fucking Nazis.
I'm standing up here bashing the living shit out of Nazis.
There's no way we are going to allow a con artist to take over the conservative movement, and Donald Trump is a con artist.
For the rest of my life, I have the curse that I have little hands. What in the hell was that all about? I'm just dandy. I got a bowl of chocolate pudding in my underpants. You're a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat Gettysburg, what an unbelievable battle that was. The Battle of Gettysburg, what an unbelievable, I mean, it was so much and so interesting and so vicious and horrible and so beautiful in so many different ways. It represented such a big portion of the success of this country. Gettysburg, wow. I go to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania to look and to watch. You'll have a group of Venezuelan killers, street gangs, occupying the town with MK-47s. I know that gun very well. I got to know. Venezuela. The army manned the air. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do. Yesterday's a hard word for me. Obama.
All I smell is your bullshit. Call them dumps, big massive dumps.
I'm just an average guy who read public documents where the elite said they were going to enslave us and destroy America, and I'm not going to be like yuppie scum and deny the threat to my country. I'm going to fight back.
White people are a mortal danger to you and your loved one. Is there anything worse than white people?
Man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
Cacophony, a crescendo, a finale, a coup de grace.
Get off my plane.
Taking it back to Nevada where he's wanted for banging horses. I didn't say mud, I said crud. You fall into some crud or something?
Bad news, bad news. Even when it's good news, it's bad news.
Tell the director to call the White House. Do your fucking job!
Go fuck yourself.